Okay, students, good morning to all of you. So, in previous classes, we discussed about electrostatic force, Coulomb's law, and some problems on that Coulomb's law. Okay, let us see one more example and how we can solve the problems by using Coulomb's law. Yeah. Okay. Let us suppose here one positive charge is there. Let us suppose here one positive charge is there. Q charge is there. Okay. And let us suppose around this charge in a circular path around this charge in a circular path, a negative charge is rotating. A negative charge minus q is rotating around this in a circular path whose radius is r. And let us suppose this is moving with a constant velocity v. Let us suppose. Okay, clear? Means you can imagine this concept with your circular motion concept. One object is moving in a circular path with a constant velocity. Then we can say it is moving under centripetal acceleration. Okay, it is uniform motion and a force will act that is called as centrifugal force. Correct? Yeah. So let us suppose this charge q, negative charge q, is having a mass m. Okay. Now you tell me, if it is moves in a circular path with a constant velocity, it will complete this circular path in regular interval of time. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Then what will be its time period? Then what is the time it will take to complete one circular path? To complete one total rotation, how much time it will take? The time period, how much? If it is moving with a constant velocity v. Clear? So how to solve this type of problems? Very simple technique, Nana. See, whenever one object moves in a circular path, a force will act on that object that is outside. That force we call it as centrifugal force. Clear? Yes. So a force is acting outside, radially outside, that is centrifugal force, and that value is mv square divided by r. We know. Clear? Yeah. So now one necessary centripetal force is required for this charge of mass m to move in this circular path. That force, necessary centripetal force, is provided to this charge particle by electrostatic attractive force between these two. A attractive force will be there, no, between positive and negative charge. Yes, that will be always towards this center. Wherever it is, it will be acting towards the center. Okay, there is electrostatic force. Okay, so when a charge minus q is moving around a positive charge with a constant velocity, the necessary centripetal force is provided by electrostatic attraction force between these two charges, and distance between these two how much? Smaller, radius of that circular path. Clear? Yes. So this is the concept. That means mv square by r, mv square by r will be equal to electrostatic force. So mv square divided by r can be written as, what is electrostatic force value? K plus q minus q divided by r square. Are you getting? Plus q minus q. I am not using sign because I know direction already. These two I am balancing. So magnitude only I am taking. Only magnitude I am taking. Okay. Magnitude of electrostatic force. Clear? Yeah. So q into k is nothing but q square we can write. Clear, students? Okay. Yes. Then yes. So mv square by r is equal to kq square by r square. Okay. Now, as we know, when one object is moving in a circular path with a constant velocity v, then it will have a time period. That time period is given by t is equal to 2 pi r divided by v. Is it correct, students? Okay. Yes. Here, if you take v from here, you'll get the answer. Yes. What will be v from here? So v square is nothing but kq square. Here one r cancel. Okay. Kq square by mr. Are you getting, students? 1r cancel. Kq square is there. M will come down. Then v will be under root of kq square by mr. Substitute there. You will get time period is t is equal to 2 pi r divided by V value, root of k q square by mr square, mr. Okay, yes, this mr will go to numerator. It will become t is equal to 2 pi r root mr divided by k q square under root. Okay, clear? Square on both sides. If you square on both sides, you will get t square is equal to 4 pi square r square. This will get square, and this root will cancel. Mr divided by kq square. Then what will be t? T will be equal to under root of whole under root of 4 pi square mr square, no, mr cube divided by kq square. Yes, this will be the answer. If you want, you can keep k value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught also. I hope you understand this point. Okay, objective point directly you can get this formula directly. These 2 points, if you are able to write, then you can get this answer. If you want, you can write k value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, means you will get 16 pi square epsilon naught mr cube by q square you will get. Okay, are you understanding, students? Any doubt in this? So when a charged particle, minus charge, negative charge particle having mass m is moving around a positive charge in a circular path with a constant velocity, then what will be its time period? Its time period is this much, under root of 4 pi square mr cube divided by kq square. This kq square also inside this root. Clear? Yes. So with this, all the concepts of this problems related to Coulomb's law we have discussed. Different types of problems. Now you need to know that beginner boxes, all that things. Okay, practice all the questions. Now let us move on to the concept of electric field. Electric field. Okay. Yes. See, till now we have discussed, according to Coulomb's law, there is one electrostatic attractive or repulsive force will be there between the two charged particles. How much it is and what is the direction of force, that we can discuss by using Coulomb's law. But in that Coulomb's law, it is not explained how a one charged particle will exert a force on other charged particle. In what way? This we did not discuss. So to know what is the mechanism by which a charged particle will exert a force on other charged particle, that can be proved by using electric field. Okay, means whenever you consider one charged particle, imagine positive charge, this charged particle will create one field around itself in a particular region, in a particular space. It will create one field. It will modify the space around it. Okay, clear? Are you getting? Now, if you bring any other charged particle, inside this field, then this charged particle will exert a force on it. Clear, students? So, electric field is a two-step concept. In first step, this charged particle will create something around itself in a particular region. First step. Second step, if we bring any other charged particle inside this field, then this charged particle will exert a force on this charged particle. It may be either attractive or repulsive depending upon their natures. Okay, and the space surrounding this charged particle is called as electric field. And because this charged particle is creating this electric field, this charged particle is called as source charge. What we call source charge particle. Okay, a source charge particle will create something around itself. That something we call it as electric field. Clear? Are you getting? Yes. Now, to experience this electric field, we need to bring one positive test charge particle. That we call it as Q0. What is Q0 here? Q0 is positive test charge. Test charge. You need to remember this word, test charge. What is a test charge? Test charge is nothing but it is a charge whose magnitude is very less, very small magnitude value. Why we need to take very small magnitude value, sir? See, if you bring one charge particle, let us imagine Q, okay, then this charge particle also will create a field around itself. So due to that, the field created by due to that, this source particle will be affected. That should not happen. So for this reason, we need to take a positive test charge so that its magnitude is very small, so that it cannot affect the source charge. Are you getting? Yes, that is the reason we need to take a test charge, positive test charge, that to Q naught. Now, electric field strength or electric field intensity, electric field strength or electric field intensity will be defined like this. It is nothing but between these two charge particles, a force will be there, and that force per unit positive test charge, this is called as electric field strength. Okay. Yes. So this is we call electric field strength, or it is called as intensity of electric field also. Intensity of electric field. Okay, you need to remember these words, Nana. Both are same. Electric field strength or intensity of electric field, both are same, and it is defined as electric field strength or intensity of electric field is defined as the force experienced per, this force is a vector quantity, okay, force experienced per unit positive test charge placed inside the region of electric field of the source charge. How to define? It is the force experienced per unit positive charge which is placed inside the field of source charge. Okay, this is the definition. Okay, and just now I told you it is a test charge. So to not to affect the source charge, test charge is to be very small. So for this reason, this electric field strength or intensity of electric field, it can be written like this. Limit by taking limiting value of Q naught. Q naught tends to 0, means Q naught value is very small. F bar divided by Q naught. Are you getting? This is the exact mathematical representation. Why I am using limit value of Q naught here? Because if you use limiting value of Q naught, then we can say it is a test charge. Q naught is a test charge. So why it is to be a test charge? Because its magnitude is small. Okay. So why its magnitude is to be small? If the magnitude of Q naught is very small, then it cannot affect the source charge. Clear? Is it clear, students? Okay. Now, one more important point. See, whatever the electric field which is created by this source charge, by that electric field, a source charge cannot be affected. Okay. A source charge, it cannot be affected by its own field. As any other charge inside this field can be affected by that electric field, but a source charge cannot be affected by its own field. You need to remember that one point. Clear? Yes. Now, so this is electric field definition. Electric field is nothing but a force experienced per unit positive discharge placed inside the field of a source charge. Okay, and it is a vector quantity. Electric field is a vector quantity. It is a vector quantity. Vector quantity means it will have a direction also. Which direction it will have? Okay, it will have a direction in the direction of force. In which direction a force will act in a positive test charge, in that direction electric field will be there. Okay, and its SI unit is important. SI unit what? See, it is force per charge. Force unit what? SI unit is Newton. Charge SI unit is Coulomb. Yes, Newton per Coulomb is the unit of electric field. Okay, SI unit of electric field, and there is another unit also is there. Another unit of electric field is volt per meter. You need to remember this. How it will come? I will show you in next chapter. Okay, when we are discussing about electric field as a potential gradient, that time we will I will show you this unit. Okay, electric field SI unit is Newton per coulomb. This is from this formula. And there is another unit is there for this electric field, that is volt per meter. Remember this, how it will come, I will explain you later, because you don't know that formula still. Okay, yeah. So SI unit is over. Now what are the dimensions of electric field, sir? Electric field dimensions. So how to write dimensions? You know, dimensions. How to write, Nana? Yeah. So but first write basic fundamental unit of electric field, then write them symbols. Okay. Basic fundamental unit. First Newton per coulomb. Okay. Newton SI unit, what? SI unit of force, and this can be written as kg meter per second square. You know, Newton is a SI unit of force. Force is nothing but MA. M is kg. A is meter per second square. Divided by coulomb. Coulomb is not the fundamental unit. Then what will be the fundamental unit? As we know, current I is equal to Q by T. Then Q is equal to IT. Clear? Q is charge. Charge SI unit is coulomb. I is current. Current SI unit is ampere. And time is nothing but second. So ampere second. In the place of coulomb, we can write ampere second. Yes. Now ampere and second both are SI units. So this can be written as kg meter second power minus 3 ampere power minus 1. Yes. Now dimensions. How to write? Dimensions are m. Kg, nothing but symbol is m. Dimensions. Meter, symbol is L. Second means time, power minus 3. A power minus 1. Yes. These are the dimensions of electric field. M, L, T power minus 3, A power minus 1. These are the dimensions of electric field. See students, dimensions are very important, Nana. You need to remember. If you are unable to remember means, at least you need to remember the unit, basic fundamental unit. Then you can write the dimensions very easily. Clear? So this is electric field. About electric field. Electric field is nothing but it is the force experienced by unit positive test charge placed inside the field of that source charge. And it is a vector quantity whose direction is in the direction of force acting on a unit positive test charge. Okay, and SI unit is Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. And the dimensions of this electric field are M, L, T power minus 3, A power minus 1. Is it clear, students? Okay. Yes. Now, see this electric field. Just now I have defined like this. Electric field E is equal to force experienced per unit positive test charge, and it is a vector quantity. Okay. See, students, let us suppose here one source charge is there. Positive charge, source charge is present. Okay. Now, so this source charge will modify the region around itself. Let us imagine this dotted line is the region in which this electric field is present. Okay. Now inside this region, let us bring a positive test charge. Positive test charge. Let us bring Q naught is the positive test charge. Let us bring. Now let us keep this positive test charge at a distance of r. At a distance of r, let us keep this positive test charge. Okay. Now on this positive test charge, this Q source charge will exert a force. Okay. According to Coulomb's law, that force is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, or you can write K. Source charge into this charge divided by r square. This is the magnitude of force. And direction of this force is in which direction, Anna? Because this is positive charge, this is also positive charge, and this force will be in this direction. Okay, let us suppose this is a unit vector r cap. Okay, this is a unit vector r cap, let us suppose. Then it can be written as r cap according to direction. Clear? Are you getting, students? Okay. Yes. Now, how to find electric field? Electric field is nothing but force per unit pass to test charge. Okay. What is the force value? Force value is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q naught by r square into r cap divided by q naught. Force per unit pass to test charge. Q naught cancel. You will get electric field as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square r cap. Yes. This is the electric field due to a charge q. One charge q is there. Then that charge q inside a region of, in a region of distance r, how much electric field can create? It can create an electric field of 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. And r cap is a unit vector in the direction of r bar. Okay. R cap indicates in which direction this electric field is there. Clear, students? And this r cap, we know r cap can be written like this. See, r cap can be written like r cap can be written as r bar divided by modulus of r bar. Means nothing but r bar divided by r. Modulus of r bar is nothing but r. So electric field will become E bar is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into r cap is nothing but r bar by r. So electric field in vector form, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r cube into r bar. This is in vector form of electric field. If you want only magnitude of electric field, only magnitude you want, this unit vector you need to remove. Means what you will get? You will get 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Important value you need to remember now. Okay, this one you need to remember. So what is the formula for electric field due to a positive charge? Electric field due to a source charge q. What is the formula? So the formula is electric field E bar is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square into r cap. R in vector form, it can be written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r cube into r bar. How it came? I have shown you here. Okay. And magnitude of electric field is only magnitude you want. You don't want any direction. Then the magnitude is this much: 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. Simply for force, you divide with one charge, you will get the electric field. For force, you divide with one charge, you will get electric field. That's it. Clear, students? Any doubt in this? So, did you got electric field formula? How to write? Okay. Okay. Now, friends, let us suppose here there is one Cartesian coordinate plane is there. Let us suppose here like this: x, y, Cartesian coordinate plane. Here origin is there. Okay. Let us suppose here one point P is there, and where a charge Q is present. Let us suppose. Okay. Now, let us suppose this is the position vector r bar of that charge Q. Okay, or here at the origin charge Q is there. At this point P, we need electric field. What is the electric field at this point P we want? How to find? Okay, at a distance of r bar, what will be the electric field we want? How to find? Simple technique, Nana. What you need to do? Simple technique. Where you want the electric field, there you keep a positive test charge. Q naught you keep. Okay, yes, we have kept. Now write the force. Here, according to Coulomb's law, write the force. Yes, this is the force. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q naught divided by distance between them is r square, r. Okay, r square. And in which direction it is? In the direction of position vector. That is r cap. So if you want electric field, divide this force with the q naught. You will get electric field strength, intensity of electric field. So magnitude if you want means you can write magnitude also. Magnitude of electric field is nothing but E, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. See here in this point, only magnitude I have written. This electric field depends upon what factors? Depends upon charge. More is the charge, more will be the electric field. And it depends on square of the distance. inversely proportional to square of the distance from that source charge. More is the distance, less will be the electric field. And this electric field will be, see, at equal distances, equal electric field will be there. Means we can say electric field is symmetric. At a equal distance around it, equal distances, electric field will be equal. Around it, you can imagine one point around that point, one spherical ball you can imagine. On that spherical surface of that spherical ball, electric field will be equal because that radius will be equal. Okay, electric field is symmetric around a source charge. Clear? And now this electric field, it not only depends upon Q and R square, it also depends upon S epsilon value. Means it also depends upon its surrounding medium. What is that medium? Okay. Now, if this source charge Q is placed in another medium whose permittivity is epsilon, then the electric field can be written as like this. Electric field is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon Q by R square. Are you getting? Means it depends upon the permittivity of the medium. Electric field depends upon the permittivity of the medium. And as we know, relative permittivity of any medium, epsilon R can be written as epsilon by epsilon naught. Then epsilon is nothing but epsilon naught into epsilon R. So in the place of epsilon, if you write, you'll get E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught epsilon R Q by R square. Okay, so it can be written as 1 by epsilon R into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square. This is the electric field in vacuum when a charge is placed or in air, and this is relative permittivity of that medium. Means if a charge is placed in any particular medium, then electric field in that medium will be less by this much factor. You need to remember this point, important point, Nana. Are you understanding, students? Clear? Let us suppose a charge is there, Q charge is there in epsilon naught medium, in air or vacuum. So in this, at a distance of R, electric field is, let us suppose 10 Newton per Coulomb is there. Okay, then same charge Q, same distance R, if we place in another medium whose relative permittivity is 2, let us suppose relative permittivity is unitless, dimensionless, it is a relative. Okay, yeah, it is 2. Then what will be the electric field in this medium? Electric field in this medium, how much? Electric field in vacuum divided by epsilon R. So E divided by this epsilon R, also called as K, you know, dielectric constant. Okay, so E by K, that is nothing but 10 by 2, is nothing but 5 Newton per Coulomb. Clear? That means if a charge is placed in any other medium except air or vacuum, then its electric field due to the charge will be less. How much less? It depends upon what is the dielectric constant value of that medium. Okay, so electric field in that medium will be 1 by epsilon naught R time of electric field in air or vacuum. That you need to remember. Is it clear, students, for you? Okay, so what is electric field and how it is to be calculated, these all things. Okay, yes. Now so this is all mathematically we have seen. Electric field means what, these are things. Okay, now graphically how electric field is to be represented. Okay, yes, let us see electric field is represented by a arrow mark like this. Okay, let us suppose here one positive charge is there, Q charge is there, positive charge is there. Okay, now electric field always points outward like this, and just now I told you it is symmetric. In all direction it will be same. And see how I am drawing these arrow marks. Electric field strength. See, this length of arrow marker indicates its magnitude. See, initially arrow mark length is more, means electric field strength here is more, because electric field is equal to k q by r square. No, k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Yes, it is inversely proportional to square of the distance. If distance is less, electric field strength will be more. So with a larger arrow mark, I am showing. As we are moving away, this arrow mark strength will decrease. I hope you are understanding what I am showing you. So graphically, this electric field is represented like this. You need to remember one point, that electric field always starts from positive charge. It will point outward, radially outward in all directions. Okay. For a negative charge Q, negative charge Q is there. When this electric field strength will be represented like this. It is towards the negative charge like this. Initially, arrow mark length is more. Okay. Later on, this length will get reduced because inversely proportional to distance. Clear? Okay. Yeah. So this is graphical representation of electric field. Okay. Now, next we need to discuss about electric field lines. Nana. Electric field lines. What are these electric field lines? It is important concept. Electric field lines are nothing but it is a path in which a unit pass to test charge will move. Okay. See, electric field strength or intensity of electric field is given by like this: force experienced per unit pass to test charge. Then how much force unit pass to test charge will experience? That is nothing but Q naught will go that side. Q naught into electric field. Okay. So this unit pass to test charge, in which direction it will move? That will be the direction of electric field line. Okay. Now let us imagine here a source charge Q is placed, and here this is positive charge, and here a unit test charge is placed. Now on this, a electrostatic repulsive force will be there in this direction. So this direction is called as electric field line. Okay. So electric field lines are nothing but it is the path in which direction this positive test charge will move if it is free inside this electric field. Okay. When a unit positive test charge is freely placed in an electric field, in which direction this positive test charge will move, that will be that path is called as electric field line. Okay. So these electric field lines, they can be straight line or they can be curved. Electric field lines, they can be straight or curved lines. Okay. They can be straight line or they can be curved lines. Okay. If it is a straight line, yes, it is like this. If it is a curved line, electric field line is like this curved line. Then if you want electric field direction at any point, at which point you want electric field direction, at that point you need to draw a tangent. So the tangent drawn to the curved electric field lines give the direction of electric field. Yes, somewhat same as magnetic field lines, but one point is different from that magnetic field lines. Okay. So electric field lines are nothing but it is the path in which path a positive test charge will move. That path is called as electric field lines. These electric field lines, they can be straight line or they can be curved line. If it is electric field line is curved line, then if you want the electric field direction at any point on the curved line, what you need to do? You need to draw a tangent. The tangent drawn to the curved line gives the direction of electric field. Clear? Yes. Now, next point. See, electric field lines always starts from positive charge. Yes, important point. It starts from positive charge and terminate means end. Terminate at a negative charge. Terminate at a negative charge. Important point. See, magnetic field line starts from north pole and end at a south pole outside the magnet. Again, they will start inside the magnet also. But here, Electric field lines, they will start from positive charge and they will end at a negative charge. See here, one positive charge is there, Q. Okay, here one negative charge is there, minus Q. So these always will start from positive charge and they will end at negative charge like this. They will end here. If negative charge is not there, they will move continuously up to infinity. Where negative charge is there, up to there they will exist. Okay, and these electric field lines, they can be like this also, curved lines also. They can be like this, curved lines also. Clear, students? Okay, so on this curved line, if you want direction of electric field direction, if you want, what you need to do? You need to draw a tangent. The tangent gives the direction of electric field. Clear, students? Okay, and one more important point is very important point. Electric field lines always start and end perpendicular to the conductor. Always they will start perpendicularly and they will end perpendicular. Let us imagine here one conductor is there. Let us imagine one material, one charge particle is there, Q. Okay, how they will start? They will start perpendicularly like this. They cannot be like this. Like this they can't. If it is a curved like this, like this, let us imagine it is a curve like this. They will be perpendicular to this always. They cannot be inclined like this. Okay, always they will start perpendicular and they will end perpendicularly to the negative charge. Very important point. This point I'll discuss in next chapter. Very important point, Anna. Always electric field lines starts and terminate perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular to the surface of the conductors. Very important point. Clear? Why, sir? We will discuss later. Why? That point we will discuss later. Okay? It is important point. They may ask you one more question on this. Why electric field lines always starts and end perpendicular to the surface? That point I will discuss later. Just let us discuss the properties of electric field lines. Next point, electric field lines, they cannot pass through the conductor. Very important points now. Very important point. Means, let us suppose this is one conductor. This is one conductor, let us suppose, or this phone, mobile phone. Yes, it is one conductor, let us suppose. Let us imagine here one charge is there, positive charge, and from this positive charge, electric field lines are originating. So it will come and it will hit this surface, and it cannot penetrate through this conductor. Again, it will start from here, like this. It cannot pass through this conductor, but on the surface of the conductor, it can pass. You need to remember that point. Electric field lines, it can go like this, but it cannot penetrate through this conductor. Inside the conductor, there is no electric field lines. So we can say, inside a conductor, electric field strength will be zero. Very important point. Very important point. Electric field inside a conductor is zero. Very important point. From this, so many conclusions we will get. You need to remember this point. Inside a conductor, I am calling conductor, electric field is always zero.